Hello again, everybody. This is Rocket Rick J, and today I'm going to show you some recent additions to my collection of vintage baseball cards. And I'm going to show these cards to you in more or less reverse chronological order, beginning with the newest and ending with the oldest. And the only exception is going to be a card that I am adding to my 1952 Topps baseball card set. And which is a significant card for me in this collection. So we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. In the meantime, I'm adding some cards to various sets that I am working on, and one of them is the 1957 Topps set. And just a little background. This is the second year that Topps uh, owned also owned the Bowman Card Company, and so Bowman ceased making cards after Topps acquired it in 1956. I guess sometime after the end of the 1955 season, for a pretty modest sum, I think. By comparison with what it would have cost today. I believe the figure was $200,000. I may be off some on that, but it's in the ballpark anyway. So 1957 is also the first year in which the Topps adopted what is now the standard card size of 2.5 by 3.5 inches for the card size, and that's the way they are even today. So the last thing that I want to do is I want to show you the card that I've gotten from this set. And although I have had what I consider to be a complete set for a number of years now, I'm adding some cards to it, and I'm going to explain it better when you can see the card. So let's the camera down, and we'll and here is the first card. It's actually the only card from the set. It is the Topps baseball 57 baseball card set, the checklist for the third series, and the backside is the important part of this pickup, the fourth series, and so there are 7 series, or 6, I'm sorry, 5 series in the 1957 set. The most important part of the back of this card is this word Bazooka right here. And the reason that is because when Topps acquired the Bowman Card Company in 1950, well, sometime after the end of the 1955 season, it also acquired Bowman's brand of bubblegum, which is a Big Blony, Blony. And I had collected all of the Big Blony checklists, but not any of the Bazooka checklists. And didn't really realize because the card list that I had only showed 4 separate checklists. and they didn't distinguish between the big blony backs and the Bazooka backs. So I found that I had no Bazooka backs and 4 big blony backs, because there are four checklists for 5 series, with one of the series repeated, so that the first checklist is first and second series, the second checklist is second and third series, this is the third checklist, third and fourth series, and finally there's one more, which is the fourth and fifth series. And these are, I have now 3 of the Bazookas backs, and the only one I don't have is the fourth and fifth series checklist 4. So when I have that, should have all the contest cards, the Lucky Penny insert card, and the 8 checklist cards, 4 Bazooka backs and 4 big blony backs, in addition to all of the cards in the set. There is one error card. It's the Gene Baker card, which comes with a back that does not spell his name properly. I think it leaves the R off in his name. I don't have that error card. I may get it someday, but it's kind of an expensive card for what is essentially a common, and I'm not sure that I want to spend upwards of maybe $200 to get it. Maybe I will. The compulsion to have a really complete set may be overpowering. And then, of course, you could get all of the extra variations, which are of the nature of 97 RBIs instead of 98 RBIs, or an earned run average of 3.45 instead of 3.46. I'm not really enamored particularly of those kinds of variations, so I may not do it. So, but anyway, long way around to this addition to my 1957 top set. Going backwards in time, more or less, to the 1940 play ball set, which I'm also working on, I have the following cards to show you. The first card I have is the George Washington Case Jr. card, which is card number 21. And on the front it just says George Case, but on the back it gives his full name. And I'm going to just quickly show you the back. Card number 15. George was an outfielder for the Washington Senators. The next card is card number 20, John Kelly Lewis Jr., who is also an outfielder for the Washington Senators. And you can see some insignia on the top, and it's a W, so if you can't quite read that, that's understandable. This is Buddy Lewis on the front of the card. And the last one that I'm going to show you is card number 21, Richard Benjamin Farrell, who is a Hall of Famer, and also with the Washington Senators, Rick Farrell, and he was a catcher. So those are my additions to my 1940s set that I'm collecting. I also picked up 2 Japanese Menko cards from the 1930s. And these are similar cards to the others which I have acquired in the past month or two. One is a rectangular shaped card, And this is a generic college pitcher. Doesn't really say what college, but that's how it's indicated. And I put this little strip across the back to show you what it said on the listing. So this is a generic pitcher, card number 774. Also similar to some cards that I've acquired recently is this round Japanese Menko card from the 1930s. And although I can't tell you how you can identify this player as a shortstop, but that's how he is identified on the back of the card. And again, I'll show you this just label that I put on here. 1930s round Menko card number 7, generic player, shortstop, and in quotes, out. So I'm guessing that some of these of the Japanese writing on the back of this card indicates those things. And on the back of the card, it also has the number 76855. I believe that's a 6, although it could be a 5. Might be 75855. It's sort of like on some coins, sometimes the gap is filled in, and that may be what's happened here since it's flat across the top in the manner of a 5. So that's what I've got to show you on the Menko cards. And now for the piece de resistance. This is the 1952 Topps Orestes Minoso, card number 195, in a good or grade 2 PSA condition. And I'm very happy to have this card because I think it's really in pretty good shape. There looks like there could be some small wrinkles just under the cap and just to the right of the cap, but not very noticeable. The corners show some wear, and again, not terribly noticeable. It's not too off center from side to side, but a little bit more from bottom to top. And here's the back of the card, which is in, I think, pretty good shape. There's a little smudge right there, but otherwise than that, and a little off center. So it's definitely a 2. Little looks like maybe gum stains down here in the bottom 2 corners. Again, to me, none of those defects detracts from the card. I think it's a very good example. And this card completes my first run of, not my first run, but my run of cards from number 1 through 200. So I'm now at the point where I'm looking to fill in the card numbers from 201 through 310. And that will give me the rest of the I don't know if series is the right word, but we'll call them series for lack of a better term. 1 through 250, 1 through 80 is considered to be a series. 81 through, I'm not sure where the break is. It might be 250, but There definitely is a break at 250, and then 251 through 310. So that's where I'm at. I probably have about 40 or so of the cards between 201 and 310, including most of the pirates. And there's not a lot of big cards in that stretch. They saved most of the remaining big cards for the high number series, 311 through 407, beginning with Mickey Mantle and ending with Eddie Matthews, the two most expensive cards in the whole set, at least the base set. So if I would ever get to a complete collection of the base set, I can assure you I will not be going after any variations that may exist, if any. So that's what I have to show you. I do have some other cards that I've acquired in the past 8 days, but they are all modern cards, and I just decided I'd do a separate video for those a little later on. So, with all that in mind, this is Rocket Rick J18 wishing that all your collecting dreams come true.